Hello and welcome along then to another MotoGP Fantasy Preview Live, this time for round 4 of the MotoGP World Championship. And it is, of course, for the Americas GP. Yes, that's right. We're heading to Austin, one of the favourite stops on the calendar for us here at MotoGP, and I'm sure for you watching along as well, as we head to the circuit of the Americas. And fittingly, we've got a very special guest along with us joining us. Today we have John Hopkins. Now, as you know, many of you that watched back in MotoGP days in the early 2000s, you know Hopper very, very well indeed. So we'll say a massive hello to John and thank you for coming on, John. John, how are you coming to us live from the circuit? Of course, it's a very big weekend for you. So firstly, how are you and are you excited to get going this weekend?
Oh, thanks for having me on, and it's great to be here. It's a big weekend for us. There's no doubt about it. We have the two American riders on American Racing Team, and the potential is massive for the team this weekend. I believe with Cameron Boubier, he's been strong. He was obviously really strong here at the end of last year, and he's made improvements since then. Unfortunately, the season hasn't really met expectation in regards to just silly things, just small things that have kept him from maximizing his potential. But I think this is the weekend that he's going to make that next step, and we could see him on the podium. And then we have Sean Kelly, who is a rookie, and it's a huge learning curve for him at the moment. But we're finally at a circuit that he knows, that he understands. He has home support, and he can do a great job himself. So it's a big weekend for us.
Yeah, it really is. And we've no doubt about it. Of course, as you say, with Sean finally coming to a circuit that he knows, hopefully that gives him the same sort of boost in performance that we saw it give Cameron last year. And really, we just wish you all the best this weekend. Obviously, as you say, home Grand Prix, and it is really going to be a massive weekend. We're hopefully the turnout is very good for the American support. And then speaking of this weekend, of course, we have to look to the MotoGP Fantasy game and also generally just who we think is going to go well here. So if we bring it up on screen, John, really just off the top of your head, I kind of wanted to quiz you about who are those couple of riders you think this weekend that are going to be a lot stronger than the rest?
Well, it goes without saying. It's completely impossible to discount Marc Marquez and his history here. I mean, it's a tough one. You can never take that one off the table. He loves America. He loves competing in America, and he has the record to show it. So I'm just hoping he's fit enough to be able to make it, and we can see him competing at his fullest. But it's a tough one this weekend. If we were going into the beginning of last season and last year's race, it might be a little bit different because there's obviously been some changes to the circuit. There's new asphalt laid down. Last year the circuit was mainly aimed towards, and the people that got the best out of their machine were the ones that were able to set the bike up for the bumps and the really bumpy style circuit. Whereas we have no idea yet how the circuit's going to be, how smooth it's going to be. The track surface might be a little bit different, so that might play into favor of some other riders. So that's just going to add another little twist. But it would be good to see Fabio, make his way back towards the front. I mean, everyone we've got here on the screen now. I mean, I am a big fan of. They've been strong all year. This year is so good, though. It's so tight, so competitive. And, I don't think MotoGP's ever been so close, competitive. And to see all the manufacturers right there all going for it, it's awesome. It's really good to see Aprilia obviously getting their first win. It's going to be a big weekend, I think, for them. I think Alicia's going to be strong again this weekend. He's strong every weekend now. But
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see Miller. I want to see Miller. He likes competing here in America. I want to see Miller make his way back towards the front, and I think he can. I think he can be competitive. He's just got to get back into his stride. They got to get the factory bikes working to their full potential. But I think it's going to be a good weekend. But yeah, that's kind of my overview. I mean, I want to see Mir. I want to see Suzuki doing strong as well. Obviously, Suzuki, they were
Yeah, of
always
course.
my main manufacturer. So I think, and Suzuki, I think they definitely have the most well-rounded package out of a MotoGP bike. I think they're one of the most competitive bikes out there. It's just a matter of both riders, obviously, maximizing it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you say about Suzuki. Obviously, recent comments from Johan Mir said that he's starting to get those 2020 feelings back and get his way up to the competitiveness that he knows he has. And they've both had very understated but solid starts to the year. And of course, as we ramp it up, maybe Cota's the place they really unlock it. And also interesting about Miller, it was actually one of the riders that Max Biaggi spoke of last week, that he wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden he comes out and rebounds and gets back onto that kind of winning potential that we know he has. So if we look at the team then, John, obviously you said about a couple of them already. Aleix finally picking up that first win after 200 Grand Prix starts in the Premier class. It's fantastic to see Aprilia as well. Now 6 manufacturers all winning. But is
Yep.
looking at it, it's very hard to say, and it's a little bit rude of me to say, but do you think there is a weak link anywhere or not at all?
It's hard. I mean,
I think maybe
I
let
don't
me
know.
rephrase. Not that there's a weak link, but is there anyone else that's stronger you think you could replace him with?
Marquez,
So
like Marquez.
Marquez.
It's just finding out who would is the weak link, because Bastianini is
Exactly.
he's been amazing, and I think, and
Yes, yeah.
I'm full confident that he's going to be competitive, throughout
Yeah.
the rest of the season. So he's a hard one to take off. Paul, he's obviously, found his stride with the Honda. He's being
Yeah.
competitive. I think he's going to be right up towards the front. Honda's always genuinely gone well here at Coda, obviously with Marquez, but he's going to be strong.
It's
Um,
difficult. I mean,
I,
even Alex
I,
Rins has won here in every class that he's ever raced in, Moto3,
exactly.
Moto2, MotoGP, and then,
Yeah, well,
first podium of the year last time out.
he's still got the fastest lap around this circuit on the Moto 2 bike,
He does,
the
yeah.
all-time lap record. And it was funny. We were watching that on the flight up from Argentina. We were watching his all-time best lap with Cameron Boubier. We flew together, and we were watching obviously a lot of videos preparing for this weekend, and we saw that. So I mean, it's yeah.
So let's have a look at. So
I would.
let's have a look at our budget really, because that's going to be the thing that restricts us with who we could go for. If we were to
Yeah,
remove,
exactly.
any of these riders, so they range from 2.6 to 3.1 million, and we've already got 500
Yep.
left as well. So we're looking at
Yep.
somewhere between 3.1 to 3.6. So who would that actually give us? Well, any of these top guys would be able to have, depending if we remove the right person. Martin, obviously, was on the podium last time. Pekka Bagnaia was on the podium in Austin here at the end of last year. Mir would be a little bit out of range. He is 4 million. He's a little bit
Yep.
too expensive. But even people like
A
Brad
little bit out
Binder,
of our price range.
yeah, just a bit. Like Brad Binder's just within, we'd just be able to get it, but we'd have to remove Alex Rins, and that's maybe, I don't know, it's impossible to know if that's a good call or not. So really, I don't know. I'm not too sure what you're thinking on who you could remove, but for me, I'm a little bit scratching my head on this one, to be honest.
It's hard. It's hard to say.
Of course, the other thing is
What
that
about
Marc Marquez is 3.1 million, and that would actually work quite well.
I'm gonna have to. As much as I love Suzuki, I'm gonna have to change Rins for Marquez.
Okay, right. So we've gone against the old manufacturer, the one that used to race for several years, but it's okay. We've gone for Marc Marquez. So let's put Mark in. And of course, as you know, John, as well, you can make 2 trades. The other thing is you could change another rider if you wanted to. You could bring Alex Rins back in if you desperately thought so. Or the other thing is constructor. Now we have Aprilia, and actually last time Aprilia were the second most point scoring constructor, only beaten by Ducati. So the other thing as well is Ducati have 8 bikes on the grid, whereas Aprilia only have 2. So there's that kind of
Yeah,
safety element
exactly.
that maybe Ducati will score better points. But I'm not too sure what you're thinking. Do you want to change another rider, change the constructor, or even just leave the team as it is?
Well, Vinales picked it up. Vinales
He did.
was really strong. It was great to see him riding well in Argentina. And ooh,
Yeah, 2.6
I
million for
I I, th-
Vinales.
I think I think I would go. I'm gonna have to leave it at that. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
I think I'm pretty content with where we're at on that. I think there's good potential in that team this weekend.
Yep, sometimes it's a good idea just to leave it and not make too much change. It's always a good thing to
Yeah, everyone's
remember.
on a high. They're riding their Aprilia's coming off of a big weekend. It's going into this weekend. Marquez, you can't discount him ever. Even coming
No.
back from injury or anything. Bastianini, Spargaro, they're on top form, and I think Pole will be strong this weekend. So that's a good looking team to me.
Okay, so there's one final thing that I haven't explained to you actually
Yeah.
before we started this, and it was that we can actually change the order of these riders. So your gold riders, as you see here, they will score 100%
Yeah.
points, and then your silver
Mm-hmm.
riders score 50% points. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's a good idea to have one of your star riders in the silver, but it depends which way round you want them to go. So obviously, if Mark was to score 40 points this weekend, let's say, we'd only get 20 for him because he's in silver. So this is one of
Yeah.
those things where it's kind of a tactical decision. If you're happy as it is, we can leave it, but maybe you want to put one of Aleix or Mark into the Gold Riders.
Uh,
I can see
I
this is
would
a tough decision.
definitely. Yeah, I would. I I want to put elation to the
Into the
gold
gold.
rider, definitely. Yeah,
Okay. So the question is,
and
who do you
I
want to go
will.
into silver?
Yeah. Let's change the brothers out.
Okay. So we,
So we'll go.
we've switched the brothers. So
Yeah.
we've gone
Yeah.
Aleix and Anea in gold, then Aprilia as the manufacturer, which certainly isn't a bad shout at all. And then the two Honda boys, Paul and Mark, in our silver team. Now,
Yeah.
the other thing as well, John, is you can actually boost one of these riders if you so wanted to. But at the moment, it looks as though our button's going away, so I'm not too sure what's gone there. But if you were choosing to boost them, you would be able to double their points scored for the weekend. So if there's someone you think is maybe going to dominate the weekend or have a very strong weekend, you can choose to double their points with a Motul 300V boost.
I mean, obviously, I would do that. Let's let's change Mark into the gold, and then let's boost Mark. I'm putting my faith into Mark that he's going to be competitive this weekend.
Okay, so the final question is, who are we changing him out for? Is Aleix going back in the silver or
Bastianini
Bastianini?
is going to
Okay,
silver.
so we've done
So
the
it's
full
basically
switcheroo then.
a full swap. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
and
I
then
think if we click here, yes, so the button's just hidden for us, but it is there. Don't worry, if you watch the long viewers at home, there should be a Motul 300V boost button there for you. So that is basically the team that we think. Now, one thing we always like to do, John, is we actually like to quiz the guests a little bit further and ask them exactly the rider who they think is going to win this weekend's race. So if you had to name one person, who would it be?
I've got to go with Mark.
Yeah.
He's always in dominating form when he hits the American shores. So he likes this track. He loves this circuit. I mean, odds were against him here in recent past, but he always seems to shine, and I think he's going to be strong this weekend.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you. He's won there 7 out of 8 times, so certainly a good bet to go for. Of course, he comes back this weekend from another episode of Diplopia, so we wish him well, and hopefully he has a medical check tonight, and it should be all good. So certainly Mark is going to be one to watch for this weekend. But for now, John, well, thank you very much for making the changes. We'll quickly ask you just a final one and say good luck for this weekend. But you spoke earlier about Cam and Sean, but also they're the kind of the products of what you're trying to do at American Racing, and we understand that you're trying to bring lots of young kids into the sport as well in America. And we just wanted to ask you how that was all going on that side.
Yeah, it's going amazing. The American Racing Academy we've started here is really starting to take off. A couple of our kids are actually competing this weekend in Aragon alongside World Superbike in the R3 Cup. So, it's all about just trying to find the most competitive path, getting their talent, reaching maximum potential at a young age, and then finding the best route to incorporate them back into the World Championship or into the World Championship as they grow. Obviously, using the desired routes, and obviously, Moto America is massively changing. We have the Mini GP Ovale Championship, which is an amazing kind of platform. So everything is really kind of taken off. Like I said, Moto America is also making huge strides, and we're excited for the future. I mean, we're kicking off this weekend. We also American Racing is a big sponsor and a big part of the North American Talent Cup, which kicks off this weekend. They're having the first race here, and a couple of our kids are going to be taking part in that. And obviously, American Racing and the American Racing Academy is a huge part of it. We're going to be helping with coaching, working with the kids directly, and yeah, I've got a few things I'm doing with them today, possibly track walking that. So no, it's good. We're hoping to change the fact that there's no American MotoGP riders, and change that massively, and hopefully see quite a few within the next decade or so.
Well, it sounds like all the plans are in place to make that happen. So we sincerely hope that it does happen in the next few years and into the future. Obviously, get back to the way it was when you self-raced with a few other Americans there as well. But for now, thank you very much, John, for coming on and choosing the MotoGP Fantasy team. And of course, I wish you good luck this weekend with American Racing.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. See you later.
Bye.
So then that is the team that John Hopkins has chosen here for the MotoGP Fantasy Preview ahead of the America's GP. Of course, the headlines this weekend are that Marc Marquez does return from another episode of Diplopia. So we wish the 8-time world champion very good luck indeed this weekend. Of course, he comes to a track where he's won 7 times that in 8 attempts. So it's certainly going to be one of the hot favourites, even though he's returning from that injury. We'll quickly show you again just John's team once more. If we go over here and have a look at it. Of course, he's gone for, in the end, it is Aleix Espargaro and Marc Marquez, of course, and he's even boosted Marc Marquez. He's put the Motul 300V boost on there, so double points coming in for John if Marc Marquez does very, very well this weekend. Gone for Aprilia, which is nice to see. A little bit of a faith in Aprilia after, of course, they won their first race in the MotoGP era last time out. And then Pol Espargaro as well, and Enea Bastianini. 2 very good choices indeed. Let us know who you've gone for down in the comments as well, and also over in the MotoGP Fantasy Facebook group. And a few more things before we sign off. Of course, this is what you know as the MotoGP Fantasy website. If you're not signed up, make sure you go to fantasy.motogp.com and input all your details there. It should all be very easy for you to do. What you can do is create your team here, and also then go across to the leagues. Join your own leagues and create others as well. And if you do that, not only can you challenge your friends and win a little bit of pride against them, but you can go over to the prizes thing here and you can see exactly what you're playing for. A signed helmet from the world champion, a laptop, and even a watch from Tissot as well. And there's weekly competition prizes too, as well as if you join the Motul Fan League, then you'll be able to win a Motul Superfan experience for a race next season. Not too bad at all. So for now then, that is going to be it for the MotoGP Fantasy Preview of America's GP. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much to John Hopkins as well. We wish the American racing team sincere good luck at the home GP. And bye for now, and we'll leave you with a final look at John's team.